time has finally come. It's the Truth is making her way into the water. But first, here's a compressed story of the 6 months of hard work we put into her before this day came. Enjoy! We are Liz and Rui, sailing on a 1982 Cal 39. Join us each week as we let go of the mussins and believe that anything can happen and anything can be. After spending a few months visiting family after we hauled out, we got back to the boat and got right to work. We started with what we came here for, to remove the bottom paint, thinking that we would just have to remove it and be done. But that isn't how it turned out.
We're back on It's the Truth. Been here a couple of days now. Yeah, so now it's time to get to work. So what are we doing first, babe?
We're grinding paint. Grinding paint off the boat.
We wanted to do this project to convert our bottom from a blade of paint to hard paint.
Day one done. How many hours of sanding? Like 6, I think?
Something like that.
That's 6 hours of sanding. How are you feeling after your first day, babe?
Oh, I'm exhausted. It's been a hard day.
Yeah. But we're getting there.
We're getting there. We're definitely getting there. She looks nice, and she's gonna look a whole lot nicer in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Well, a couple weeks may have been a bit optimistic. And usually I'm the optimistic one, with Rui being more of a realist. Funny to watch these again and think what we didn't know.
We've decided to go down right to the gel coat because just at the water line, there's all of this blistering going on. And what we've also noticed is there's a lot of cracks. I don't know if it's just on the surface, which would just be the gel coat, or if they go right down through the fiberglass, which means we've got some major repairs to do here.
And there's some big cracking going along around the strut.
I carried on sanding all the ablative paint and barrier coat off.
Hey! The last day of sanding blue. No longer will we be blue after this.
And I'm gonna start grinding out all the cracks and all of the little chicken pox and see what's going on behind that.
It was worse than we thought.
So the more I keep grinding, the more cracks I'm starting to find on this. I don't know how bad this is gonna be.
Yeah, as you can see, it's a little worse than we expected, I guess. Kind of shitty. You have a boat you love and it takes you so far, but then you do some work and love to it, thinking it's just easy stuff, and then you find what we found today. Is it fixable?
Nothing's fixable, it's fiberglass.
It's fixable.
Sand and fiberglass,
Just a bit bigger project than we anticipated.
We were both feeling pretty deflated at this point, and Rui was questioning whether it was worth it to continue. But we carried on and started to put her back together, realizing we can make her stronger than she has ever been.
We'll be adding in, we'll start with 2 layers to build it back up, because we had to definitely grind off a lot of product that was on here.
Yep.
You can see the fiberglass here came from this side, it came from this side, but then this white section here is probably the gel coat underneath. And everywhere across the center of this boat, whether it's back here or in the front, the whole bow, it was just about 3/4 inches of filler, and it all cracked. There was no fiberglass mixed in it, no fibers. It was just basically Bondo.
Let me pause here to explain what we discovered. Because this Cal 39 is made out of 2 molds put together down the middle from bow to stern, They glassed together the two molds, then used a resin filler to shape the hull. After 40 years, the cracking in the filler had started.
That they used to shape it out, and with time it dried up and cracked. There was all cracks throughout the whole thing. I'm happy because at least it's not structural and it's just cosmetic. So we'll be building all that back up now with fiberglass. So it's a lot of layers of fiberglass and a lot of sanding to put it back to the way it was.
It was a relief to start the fiberglassing, even though fiberglassing the bottom of your hull is not the easiest job to get done. Generally, we were both covered in resin drips at the end of the day. Resin in the hair is not always the easiest to get out. Once the glass was dry, Riri would grind and sand until it was smooth and ready for the next layer.
We are very happy to know now that once we finish, this hull will be stronger than ever.
This part of the project went on for weeks. You can only apply one layer at a time when working upside down to ensure no air bubbles are missed and so that the glass is able to stick to the hull and not be weighed down, which would cause it to fall off. So it really was a slow process. I also took care of any minute signs of osmosis by grinding each small hole out with a Dremel. We really wanted to make sure we didn't have to do this again for as long as possible. After the final layer of glass was applied, dried, and sanded down, it was time to start applying the vinyl ester filler we made to ferret out nice and smooth, and to shape the hull. But unlike the first filler job, most of the filling was done with the glass like Riri said earlier. We didn't only work on the outside of the boat, we also had the engine to tackle. And one of the big jobs we knew we had to take on was replacing the transmission.
All right. Yeah, trying to come out of the hole with the transmission. Oh God. All right, transmission's out.
Like most cruisers in Cabrales, I took many trips to Lukeville, Arizona to pick up packages for things we needed for the boat. But once the border shut down for a bit, I had to take the 4-hour drive to Yuma. The scenery was always stunning, though. I was able to pick up our new transmission that was sent to an address in Yuma, and it was nice to see new shiny things in the engine room, but it certainly was a test to align it.
It's definitely higher than the flange right now. Transmission's almost on, 1 ground wire left.
So this is our current head, and today we're switching out the manual pump toilet with the fancy electric one.
The old toilet is removed. 5 minutes.
I am changing our nice big full-size toilet onto the base of the tiny little toilet. You can see by the seats difference.
Yeah.
Success!
We have an electric toilet.
Oh.
As usual. You want to see the mess the boat's in? Just show everyone the mess the boat's in.
Current status of the boat. It looks like, I don't know, everything exploded in it.
Well,
All right, so now the next step is the interior. The interior has been like this for the last 2 years.
it's finally getting done.
Might we have a ceiling soon?
We definitely will.
This was a really exciting step for me, as I had been living on It's the Truth with bare fiberglass as a headliner for almost 3 years. I even recently posted on Instagram how much I love our new headliner, and a friend jokingly commented, "Bring back the bare fiberglass."
Looks perfect to me.
I'm glad that I don't do this full time.
Putting up a headliner on a boat is not easy. Boats are not square. Anywhere. So it was a lot of measuring again, maybe once more, then cutting it and hoping it was correct. Luckily, Rui is really good at this stuff.
All right, well, today is
sand the inside day. So we've cleared everything out, or most of everything, and anything that was left behind the cabinets just taped off with some plastic. And I already started a little bit here yesterday, but I gotta sand all of this and roughen it up basically for the filler that will apply over it to make it look nice and smooth.
From the toilet to the headliner, things were definitely starting to prove on the inside. But we were about to start living in dust for a week. At this point, the inside of the boat was already looking so much better than it ever has since I've owned her. Just applying the white filler made it look so much brighter inside. This was a whole lot of work we did in 1 week. Filling, fairing, and painting the sides, as well as completing the ceiling. But we were pretty amazed by the finished job.
Last board, last 3 screws.
Well, how do you feel, baby?
It's finally done. I feel good. It looks really good. The trim is on, the walls are painted, the ceiling's on. I'm happy. Just look at the results.
I am so excited to finally not have to walk up to our boat again and see bare patches all over it. As Rui always says, it's all about the prep work, and we have put a lot of prep work in to get to this point. Who knew putting painting tape up could be so exciting? But it certainly was for us. I was like a kid who asks in the car, "When are we getting there?" when asking Rui, "When can we paint?" So this day was huge, especially for me. But I know Rui was relieved as well to see the first coat of barrier coat go onto the bottom.
Looking like a real boat again. Alright, so this is the day I've been dreading for a while. But we are gonna repair where the gel coat, we sanded and fixed behind the gel coat. And gonna try and gel coat it ourselves and color match it ourselves. So again, it's a 40-year-old boat. You can't just buy a color made for the boat because it's so old. There's so much sun on it, so it's kind of slightly changed colors over the years.
Even though we weren't skilled at color matching, in fact, neither of us had ever done it, we were pretty proud of the matching job we did. That is until we realized that this gel coat did not in fact have wax in it like we thought.
That's very close.
I would say that's really, really close. Like almost acceptable.
So Rui just took we put some wax paper on it to try and recover it, but it didn't work. It just never really dried. It's always kind of gummy. You can still see fingerprints, and this is quite a few days later. So, yep, didn't work. So now we have to scrape it all off and start again.
The second time around, when we actually bought some wax additive, went a lot better.
Rui put on his first application, and yeah, it's already starting to harden like it was supposed to the first time we did this. And I think we did it well.
Next up was the top sides, and boy did all the teak need some love. So we took out the sandpaper, and not only did the companionway, but also did the cockpit table and all the grab rails inside and out of the boat. Things are coming along fast on It's the Truth. This was a huge step for us, as finally putting on the first coat of bottom paint meant that the huge job we did on the bottom was actually complete.
All right, so today is starting to make the Dodger.
This was a project I decided to attempt while still at home visiting our families. Rui's sister-in-law gave me a Singer sewing machine, and I started by practicing on winch covers and pillows, but that went straight into making a Dodger. It was a big project, probably tougher for my machine than for me, but I got it done, and yeah, we have a new Dodger. I'm so excited. The best part is now we can actually see out of these glass windows, which we couldn't before.
Today I will be painting the boot stripe on the boat.
More painting.
The last of the painting was being applied. We were getting closer to being in the water, and now doing all the little tasks we still needed to check off our list.
What do you think?
I think it looks awesome.
Look how glossy it is, eh?
Yeah.
It really turned out stunning. Impressive what a little paint can do. My brother was kind enough to give us this diesel heater, which we are looking forward to having once we reach colder climates.
Voila, it's mounted. It's a little wobbly, but we'll have to figure something out with that to keep it from wobbling as much. But other than that, I think we're well on our way.
Another project checked off the list.
I like how warm it was coming out
Really?
so
Was
fast.
it? Yeah. Rude.
Yeah.
Well, we had it's like set. It was set on like 27 degrees Celsius.
35. 130.
I never want it at 35.
22, 23, you'll find is a comfortable setting.
To
If
you.
No. We're putting a through hull for our water maker because it's our first chance we've had to put a through hull for the water maker because we were sharing the one for the raw water.
Of course, right before you go into the water, you put holes in your boat, right? And this catches up to where we left off in the last episode. We applied some prop speed to help prevent growth on our propeller. Everyone swears by it, and I'm happy to give an honest report after some time in the water.
All right. So one of the last things that we had to do before we go in the water, since we did so much work on the boat, and I actually ended up taking off the old name and the town. So I got a new name printed here in Puerto Penasco, and I'm just putting it on.
Even the sweet boatyard kitty Dulce, who kind of became a pet of ours while at Cabrales, wasn't leaving our boat. For the last 2 days, we could always find her in this spot. She was trying to secure her place, but sadly she wasn't ours to take. We will miss her so much.
Good morning. It's about 6 a.m. Just couldn't sleep last night. Actually, it might be 5:30 still. I don't know. Pretty early in the morning. I think anxiety, anticipation of getting in the water again. So yeah, just watching the sunrise, listening to the birds chirp. Get the last few things done before we have to go in the water. Just hoping everything goes well today. All right, so I'm here in the Cruisers Lounge in Marina Cabrales, and on the wall are all the names of the boats that have been here. And according to our friends, apparently it's bad luck if you don't put your name on the wall before you head into the water. So because today and later we're going into the water, and I haven't had a chance to do this yet, I'm doing it now. I am not an artist. I'm just gonna try and do the best I can. That's all I can do. Well, it's not perfect, but I also have the worst handwriting ever, so doing it with a paintbrush was even harder. But I think it's okay. What do you guys think?
And here we are, after being on dry land for 9 months and working without a day off for the last 6 months. It's the Truth was finally returning to her home on the water, where she belongs. Rui and I are proud of the work we have accomplished. The days of feeling low or just plain exhausted was worth it all. I'm a pretty emotional person, and the tears started as I saw her going into the slings. I just couldn't help it, but was quickly wiping them away so no one noticed. We had watched so many other boats go through the same process and make it back into the water, well before us. More recently, Rui and I were helping out any boat that needed a hand with lines as they descended into the waters of Puerto Penasco. But this time, it was finally our turn.
Gotta tighten up the shaft seal a little bit.
Try and start the engine. Clear? No power yet. We're going to pull you off by hand. Once it looks like you're clear, then we'll turn off the line and take the gate. Hey Vince, you pull that one off.
All was good to go as Rui backed out of the haul-out spot and into the marina at Federico's, where we would spend one night as we got ready to leave Puerto Penasco for good.
We're in the water in which marina? Federico's in Puerto Penasco. The guys did a great job here because I put it in reverse and the prop didn't open up, and
He came in a little too hot.
I was trying to slow down all the way from out there and it just kept going. I was like, what the fuck? I slowed down, like, because I'd rather have coming really slow, but the thing wouldn't slow down.
It's because we made the bottom of our boat way too fast now, I guess.
Either way, we're here. We didn't hit anything. There's no scratches on the boat. She's pristine, like we put her in the water, and that's all that matters.
And everything works so far.
As the pilot says, any landing's a good landing. Any docking of a boat is a good docking.
Good job, baby. Well, stoked to be in the water. We're here, we can breathe, relax, and then get to work so we can prepare to set off tomorrow.
Our last step was to lift the Genoa, which took a bit of time as the furling line was wrapped the wrong way around the drum. But we got it sorted and did our provisioning to head out the next morning. If you enjoyed this episode, please click the subscribe and like buttons and leave a comment below on your thoughts, as it helps us out so much. We look forward to visiting all the places in the sea that we missed before. See how our first sail goes for us in 2 weeks. Until next time, cheers!